We've talked a lot about soft jerkbaits in previous videos. Well, today we're going to go over a rig that is often forgot about, but yields excellent results. Hi there, and welcome to the Bass Fishing Life. I'm your host, Steve Rogers. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and be very careful to hit that notification bell so every Tuesday and Thursday you will get our video updates. Well, it's no surprise that soft jerkbaits are excellent ways to catch fish, as are swim baits, all these types of shad imitators. As a matter of fact, the umbrella rig or the A-rig a few years ago really came onto the scene and just caught a ton of fish, became super popular, and it worked so well it was actually banned from all the major tournament circuits. Why? Well, it caught fish, but there was another reason as well. Not all states allow you to fish on the same rod with multiple hooks. For example, in the state of Illinois, you can have two rods fishing with them at one time, but each rod can only have two hooked baits on it. So if you were using the umbrella rig or the A rig here in Illinois and you had, let's say, 6 swim baits on the back of that thing, only 2 of them legally could have hooks on them. So that's why today I'm going to be talking about the double swim bait rig or the Double Fluke Rig today here on the channel. And I think you're going to find when you see the underwater footage why it is so effective, and it is something that you should probably add to your arsenal of tricks. I've got 2 caffeine shads right here, and these are some of my favorite swim baits just because they look so lifelike in the water, but there's a lot of great ones out there on the market today. And the double swim bait rig or the double soft jerk bait rig is going to essentially position these baits like this. Okay, so it's going to look a lot like that fleeing bait fish that we've talked about in the past, one chasing the other. They're scooting through the water column, and it triggers that instinctual predatory bite, and that's what we are trying to get out of those largemouth and those smallmouth. So let's talk about how to rig this particular method. First thing I'm doing, I've got my rod here, and here's the main line on this particular rig. And the main line really doesn't matter a whole lot what you use. You'd put braid on there and then go to a fluoro or a mono leader. I've got 15-pound mono on here, and I'm going to go to about a 12-pound mono leaders on here. But there's a lot of combinations that you could use. But if you've got a bait caster already rigged up with braid, that's going to work just fine. So go ahead and take your leader and then take a swivel. All right, just a small little barrel swivel, and slide it onto the line first and just let it drop down. Okay, that's the first thing you want to do. Then you're going to take a second swivel and go ahead and attach it and tie it to that main line. And you can use whatever knot you like. I'm still a big fan of the Palomar knot or the Palomar knot just because I can rig it so quickly and it doesn't fail me. So I go ahead and do that and then trim off this little bit of tag line right there. And now here is what your swivels look like. Okay, so you've got one swivel right there on top of the other, and this one is completely free swinging, and your swivel attached to your main line acts like a stop. All right, so that's the first thing that you want to do. Next is go ahead and cut off 2 leaders. Make one longer than the other, and I've got a leader that is approximately a couple feet here, and then one that's about 18 inches or so. So if I hold them up next to each other, that one is shorter than the other. Okay, the shorter leader I'm going to go ahead and put onto my swivel that is free sliding up and down the main line. I'm going to put the longer swivel attached directly to the main line. So the shorter ones are going to be closer to the rod, if that's an easier way to think about it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this rigged up with some hooks. Okay, and now you can see what I've got going here with my swivel and my 2 leaders coming down, and you can see where the hooks are at. So I'm going to go ahead and put my baits on here now. just rig them, Texas rig. Okay, nothing too crazy or fancy here. You can add some weight, you know, tie some wire around the shank of the hook if you would like, or use a belly weight or some of the different swim bait hooks out there that have some weight to them. This one I'm just rigging weightless for demonstration purposes. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and take a look at some underwater footage here so you can see how this double rig works, and it just looks really, really good. So I can't wait to show you this. So let's go ahead and jump down to the dock so you can take a look at this right now. Pretty spectacular, I must say. You can see how that is so tempting when you've got multiple bait fish in that fleeing action. It just triggers that reaction strike, that reaction bite, and it can really salvage some tough days on the water. And hey, when you're fishing the double rig, you always have that opportunity to catch two fish at the same time. Could you imagine pulling in 2 5-pounders at once? That would make for some pretty good photos with the smartphone. Well, I hope that this double rig encourages you to go out there and try it. Please drop comments if you have any questions, and make sure that you go out and encourage someone today for the bass fishing life. I'm your host, Steve Rogers.